And what's that?
They started with that's all you can say.
If we withdraw the motion in a second, then we can restate what's on the board, and then we'll be good. Okay.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I'll withdraw my second to the motion.
I would withdraw my motion for a restatement. So the motion would be to accept the resident Nelson Desert Bighorn Sheep, any ram, any legal weapon hunt 3151 as proposed by the department, with the exception of the footnote for areas 252, 280, 281, and 282 to read as shown on the screen. So it would now read sub 4 of that paragraph would read, within the NTTR portion of Unit 252, limit party size to 5, including tag holder. Additional party members may complete background check and safety briefing, but only maximum of 5 party members, including tag holder, may be present within the NTTR portion of Unit 252 at any given time. Then we would start a new paragraph and add a new second sentence. Hunters and members of their parties may not access the NTTR after a tag is filled and the animal has been removed and in possession of the tag holder. So that sentence would apply to all units 280, 281, and 282. Number 4 would be specific to Unit 252.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, second. Any further discussion? Mr. Macbeth.
You had indicated that there is a requirement that the 4 additional party members be present with the tag holder. Do you need to add an additional language that makes that clear? Like, for instance, on that very last sentence, members including tag holder may be present with the tag holder within the NTTR portion.
Yeah, I'll speak to that. I did not intend to include that as part of my motion. And I think I would agree with a couple of the commissioners who've said, I mean, I understand where you're going with that, but to me that gets really dicey. I think this is a pretty big step, and to add that I think is
okay. So are we
difficult.
Saying that they can, these 5 members can spread out?
Right, that is my intent, and I believe that's the way it reads.
Okay, I just want to clarify.
Okay, any further discussion? Any discussion?
Paul Dixon, Clark County Cap, for the record. I may have gotten my question answered by Maureen, which was, because this is a fairly significant change, Commissioner Macbeth has brought up potential other discussion. My recommendation was going to be that you take this language out of the motion and bring it back to the March meeting, but Maureen said that the hunt book will be developed between now and the March meeting, which would mean you'd still have to have some language that says, if successful at drawing this tag, there will be a restriction book given to you. But I'm just looking at, my thought is that you have this, has anybody run this by NTTR and said, we're gonna do this, and we're gonna also, you know, in your doctrination, we'll let people know things, but you know, we hopefully this will start to relieve the concerns you've had with the larger parties and other issues. And I just was looking whether or not that was something we needed to get validation on before we codified this in a book, that's all. Thank you.
Mr. Newton, you heard the question. What do you think?
I don't think that's a requirement in this situation. It's not as if you've gotten a formal request that you're responding to that laid that out, and so you would want to go back and say, is this responsive? It's been more informal, and this is a first step, and I think that's how you should look at this, as a first step.
All right, with that, any further discussion? Any commission discussion? Okay. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passed unanimous. Okay.
Could I have two minutes? I'd like to make a statement if I could, since I won't be around. But I want you guys to give some real thought. This issue you just dealt with here, I think you're going to deal with it more and more and more. And I don't know how to deal with it. I think it's going to take a lot of brain power of a lot of different people. Here's the issue. We want to provide all the opportunity we can, and that is absolutely wonderful. But what we're seeing is a paradigm shift in the way we see hunters in this state. And the wardens can tell you, and my ride along, you go into a camp, there's one person with a tag, and there's 5 or 6 other people in camp with quads and side-by-sides and whatnot. And then we hear comments that we got too many hunters out there, okay? We don't have too many hunters out there because in the old days, it used to be me and my buddy taking my 4-wheel drive into a canyon, we bump our way in there, and then we spent the week hunting, not as mobile as we were. From a wildlife professional perspective, I like the fact that people are engaged in hunting in camp, seeing how Grandpa did or how the junior hunter did, because that keeps people involved. And if we cut that out somehow, we're going to start losing people in the sport. But we don't really have an opening day anymore. We have so many seasons, and you did it earlier. I mean, you got muzzle loaders with archers and cow hunts and bull hunts, and it's a marvelous thing, but it does come with its own problems. And maybe we can build an expectation with the hunters that for the opportunity, you're going to have to put up with maybe a little bit of crowding, and the fact is you're going to see some dust clouds, and you may have other people in camp. The other thing is that we struggle with trying to collect the data. So we have all these hunts, not only, you know, how many people can go in the test range, but and I told the guys, let's not worry about when we're going to do our surveys, so we had a time we're not going to be flying over somebody. We're probably going to have to, the expectation for the sportsman is going to have to be, you know what, in order for us to have this kind of an opportunity, I may see a helicopter and I might hear a helicopter. So I mean, this is not a simple thing anymore. This is not a simple problem, and I really encourage you guys to get a subcommittee together, put your brain power together, and figure out how we do this to keep people interested in hunting, keep providing the opportunity, and not do something draconian. You're not going that way. I have full confidence that you're going to be able to do this, but it's something that you can't, you know, ignore it. I think it's here and now, and we need to figure out how to manage it. Anyway, thanks.
Okay, with that being said, that agenda item started at 2012, and I fully anticipated going to lunch at 12. We're going to be here for a while, and I need to get something to eat, and I think everybody else probably needs to get something to eat. So let's, it's about 7 minutes till 1. Can we try to hit some fast food and be back here as close to 1:30 as we can? And then we'll get going again. So thanks, and we'll see you at 1:30.
There you go. All right, native guide.